To lie, this new patch has been extremely fun, but it's been absolutely killing me. I've been having a hard time getting myself onto the winning ways, so to speak, over this last couple of days. But I think I finally found a set of teams that I'm truly enjoying. I do love how flexible this is, and this is something that I want to show off. And I tell you what, since actually doing this, my last couple of games that I've played, I think I fell out of the points once, only won 5th place. This team's not doing too bad for itself here, and I'm going to showcase some of these teams that I was using during that time, all of them being different versions of Aegis. But the thing that I love about Aegis right now is the weapons, because there's a lot of team compositions that you can go for that are really good right now, but it requires you getting one specific weapon. Like, say, Steam Harbinger, you usually need the Aqua Blast. Inferno Arcanite, you need some sort of either the Boomerang or you need the Scion Gauntlet. Like, there's a lot of limitations that can really hold you back from being able to perform with that composition. Meanwhile, with Aegis, I'm going to be giving you 5 teams because there's 5 different weapons that you can use in this style without really changing your game plan too heavily. So without further ado, this is the one that most people are very familiar with from the last patch, which of course is the Toxic Aegis, where you're basically just trying to quickly get up. You'll hear this a lot, but you'll quickly try to get your front line up with the Axon and the Caradulo, get yourself an Archos as fast as possible so you have Aegis. And then, of course, you're going to be using the Ripple Flail. That's the water bulwark weapon in this instance. You eventually bond this to your Archos, get yourself Aegis, and you'll at least get 2. Your Riptorus, or going into your Riplant, is what you're going to want to start rushing, essentially. You would get yourself up to level 7, basically, as soon as you have your Axon, as soon as you have your Caradulo and your Archos. Get up to level 7 as safely and quickly as you can, while maintaining your economy. Don't spend, don't super rush, but get yourself up to level 7, and then when you're sitting maybe at close to max interest, then maybe fire off a couple rolls here and there. Try to get that Riplant a little bit faster, because if you get this thing, it can absolutely carry you, and it is a beautiful sight. As long as you got your Ranger pumping its stats into the Riplants, you've got the Archos, and then later on in the game, while you're also rolling for Riplants, of course, a Heady is also a tier 3, so you can start picking some of those up as well. Because if you manage to get that 3rd Aegis there with the Blotto, that is a lot of stats, and that is a lot of damage also getting pumped into Riplants, making it an absolute monster. Being able to also add on the Lesser Monkier, or not the Lesser Monkier, but the Greater Monkier to give it Berserker on top of all of that is absolutely incredible as well. But I don't want to dwell too much onto this one, because this is the one that most people know about. What I'm going to be showcasing are my other teams. All the ones that I'm showing right here, right now, are all teams that I've either won with or a podium finish, so a 2nd or 3rd. The one I'm going to showcase next is a little bit different. But of course, this is what happens when you get the Ember Buckler. So this is the Fire Bulwark weapon. And you're thinking, okay, if I link this to Archos, then all of a sudden now I've got Wildfire. Well, hang on to Wildfire. We'll see them probably in a little bit. But you're going to be relying more so on the higher tier tanks. When you're at, say, level 5 or level 6, let's say level 6, you're building your economy, you're not spending too much, you try to make sure you pick up a Greater Apon, get that evolved into the Greater Apon, get yourself the Archos, and then very similar in nature, start pushing not just to level 7, but push to level 8, because we are going to need a lot of higher tier Alluvials to truly get this one complete. Specifically, racing other players for Scoriox. That is going to be probably the hardest part, but if you're putting your economy into majority leveling yourself up while sitting at max interest, you can get there very quickly, and if you pick up Variox, you pick up Scoriox relatively quickly, it's rather nice. You bond your Ranger to Archos, you have Wildfire Aegis, which is okay, but if you bond this Ranger to your Greater Apon instead, you now have Magma Aegis. So that means that you have, of course, all the Magma going to be all around your units, dealing damage to anyone that wants to dive on into your bunker combination here. They have to deal with all the stuns coming out from your Appon. They have to deal with your blinds. And of course, you are tankier on your own Magma. So Magma Aegis basically supercharging your Scoriox. If you manage to get this, it is absolutely disgusting. So I definitely recommend giving this a try. Magma Aegis. Next one, of course, no particular order. I do want to emphasize that. I don't think one is ranked better over the other. It's just a matter of flexibility. The fact that you don't require one weapon to make one combination work is the selling point here with this Aegis squad. As I am now, I just won with this one yesterday. It was a hell of a lot of fun. Steam Aegis. I had a game where not very many people were actually going water, and I had myself the Fire Empath staff. I was thinking about, of course, going for some sort of maybe Inferno, but then, of course, I was doing very, very well with Aegis. So I was thinking to myself, how can I spin this into Aegis? And Steam actually was the perfect option. We did end up getting, of course, the Flame Staff. You eventually bond yourself to one of your water tanks. So whether it be the Axon, whether it be the Caradulo, you get Steam Aegis that way. Sitting at level 5 or say level 6, and getting yourself your Archos, Axon, and Caradulo once again. Then, very similar to the Magma Aegis, you're going to level yourself up all the way to level 8, and then start racing people for the Umber. If you happen to get this thing, and while your drone augments are also going for, say, Omnivamp, Combat Rhythm, like the Bloodthirst, while also getting, like, augments that will assist you with Omnivamp here for the Umber, this thing did not die once in my time playing in that game, and it was so incredible to witness. I thought, of course, that is Steam Aegis based around the Umber as your carry with the Fire Empath staff as the way to go there. Still got 2 more possible Aegis builds to go, and this one here is the more traditional bunker kind of combination, but this is Wildfire. So this did actually win me a game, and I know I meme on Wildfire a little bit because I do still feel like sometimes it's a little bit underwhelming, but this actually worked out extremely, extremely good. This is another greedy get to level 8 kind of build because you'll see there's no Axon, there's no Caradulo, so we don't even have to waste credits in our early game. Just bypass it and put your credits, get to 70, so you're starting to get all of your max interest. And then once you are getting max interest, anything you get above 70, just put into levels all the way up to level 8, where now we're going to be rolling and racing people for Blazonite. And then getting the Wildfire online requires a tank fire alluvial, which means there is only the one normally, that being, of course, the Flare, the Singe, or the Seer. I think in my game in particular, I had a Fire Groko, that the tier 0 that also stuck around for a little bit until I got the Singe and was able to get Wildfire relatively quickly in this way. But this is kind of like your bunker spin on it, and of course Blotto is already a Wildfire, so it blends in extremely good. It makes your Blotto, which is normally kind of unkillable, makes it that much crazier, and this is more of a sustained base team. That's why we do also have Adorido here as well. I'm not going to necessarily rush for a Adorius, but if you happen to get one, by all means, that's fantastic. Boris is here more so just to get another Nature Alluvial, because you'll notice with this current setup, with the Ranger having the Nature Empath staff, and then all of the Alluvials on here, we get 7 Nature. So we just need 1 Nature chip to get 8 Nature, and then it's even more powerful. And getting the 1 Nature chip, it isn't a guarantee, but it does happen more often than not, I feel. So you can have yourself 8 Nature, Wildfire Aegis with a Super Chicken, basically, with this Blazonite. Last one I want to show off here. This has probably been my favorite so far, and this is Bloom Aegis. Very quick route, just go up to quick level 8 once again. Early on, a lot of your focus is actually going to be onto Lallura, but I'm not necessarily rushing to it to a Malura, for example. Like, I'm not spending any credits on rolling for Malura. Like, I don't have Phosphorus yet. I'm kind of using Allura to start things off here, supercharging it. It's extremely tanky, but of course, when it does go down for the charm, and the AoE damage it does do, if you do stack on a bunch of Omega Power onto that, it actually hits like a truck. So if you can make up for the lack of tankiness augments that you would normally stick on a Lillura with the Aegis buff instead, and then be able to basically turn Allura into a mini nuke, it is extremely fun. But it does fall off, so that's why I do not necessarily like hard focus it for rolling. Instead, I'm trying to get actually up to level 9 as fast as I possibly can to get the Forest going, get Phosphorus online. I have not lost, I think, I say lost, but I have not dropped out of the top 3 every single time I've tried this build. Because a lot of people's, at least in my current rating, it's definitely something I want to showcase. You'd end up in this case here, you bond your Ranger to the Archos and you're A-okay, you're fine there. Pretty standard. And of course with Bloom, every, I think it's 8 seconds or so, you end up getting a boost of Omega Power and a heal, so it does actually kind of sustain itself a little bit. One thing that I've also done with this team as well, just to add on that extra tiny little bit of sustain, is to actually throw a flood into this as well. And what you can do with this, at least, I honestly recommend for all of these Aegis builds, if you have the room, just throw a flood on there for one reason, or two reasons. One, the extra sustain's nice, but two, using a flood as a way to direct other spellcasters and kind of manipulate where they're targeting is quite nice. So if you see a Blazonite on the other side of the field, you see a Sinalf or something like that, something that wants to shoot the target the furthest away, or has like massive AoE damage, use the flood to kind of manipulate where that's going, while also having a bunch of different sustain options. So these are the Aegis teams that I was able to cook up. Are these the greatest? Maybe, maybe not, but I've been having a lot of fun doing it, and of course, I've been having some decent success on the ranked ladder with them, so I definitely recommend you check them out. With that, that is my 5 Aegis teams. I definitely recommend you give this a try. Again, I've been having some pretty decent success on the ladder. Is it the best build? Is it meta? I'm not going to guarantee you that in the slightest, but it's working for me so far, and maybe it'll work for you. If this video helped you at all, I definitely recommend dropping a follow or a sub here onto the YouTube channel. Definitely more to come. Lots of Illuvium content, whether it be guides, stories, or what have you. I'm just absolutely having a fun time here with Illuvium and looking forward to doing more.